Well, hello, everybody. It is the Dennis and Andy Show with your movie review for the week to kick off your Friday morning. Last night, we went and saw what we go see, Dennis.
We went and saw the movie that we teased out during our show, a Matt Walsh mockumentary called Am I
Am I
Racist?
racist?
That's
There
right.
you go.
Am
I
I
knew you didn't
racist?
want to say it.
I know
Am
because you
I
already hit me
racist?
twice.
I wasn't going to do it. You don't know me that well. No, you do. I was going to do it. Anyhow, so yes, we went and saw the Matt Walsh mockumentary, Am I Racist? This is going to be spoiler free. And um
Guys,
it's
well, here's what I'll say. This was a difficult movie because I know a lot of people out there just because of Matt Walsh. You can't see it. They're going to try and cancel you. There's been all of this conversation and uh, canceling of people and stuff. Jeremy Johns, one of my favorite reviewers, he took a whole slack from just reviewing it. Guys, we're here to just review a movie to see if it was a fun movie, a good watch, and that's what we did. We will not get into the politics and stuff of it. But with that being said, it was definitely not what I was expecting for a film. It was a mockumentary.
well, I
Um,
mean, it to me, it really does blow the lid off the scam artists out there. And I think that's what they are, scam artists. The Robin DiAngelo. She's the biggest name in the movie that wrote the book White Fragility, and she charges tons of money and she'll teach you about white fragility and how not to be a racist and all this. And that scene alone was worth the price of admission. But then
there,
there's other ones in it. There's the two women, and I don't remember their names, but I remember hearing about them on the news that only white women, no men allowed. You could hire these two women to host a dinner at $5,000 a pop. So if you got 10 women showing up, that's 50 grand. These two ladies will split. And they'll teach you about not being racist as well. And when you peel back the curtain and see what these speakers are doing and saying, you're just I mean, to me, it just reeked of you guys are just grifters trying to just soak these people for money.
Yeah, and what Matt does is he does a really good. It's an investigational journey, and one of the only clips that I had seen, I tried to stay away from all the spoilers, was the group when he was in and he gets recognized and stuff, and they call the cops on him. There are a lot of really funny scenes in this, and this is the thing that surprised me most. I knew it was a documentary format, uh, but it's truly a funny. It is truly a funny movie. Matt Walsh, while you may agree or disagree with some of the stuff he says, his deadpan approach to some of this, and when he's asking questions, it's fantastic. In some ways, he reminds me of David Letterman out on the street and stuff like that. But Matt Walsh asks very hard hitting questions, but it's all done with a comedic overtone. But at the same time, it's trying to bring to light what's going on in as this great social experiment, as in racism.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, if you've seen the trailer, you see that he says he has to go deeper undercover because he was recognized at that one group. And so he puts on a wig with a man bun and glasses and a tweed coat, whatever. And I mean, I still was like, that's Matt Walsh, but he was able to fool people, and he changed his mannerisms, and he really, was when he was sitting with like D'Angelo and these other people, he was speaking their language because he had to, come across properly to get these people to talk to him. He goes into a bookstore and he asks the bookshop owner, and it's not a chain bookstore, it's not a big, it's not a Barnes and Noble or anything. And he asks the owner what books he should read, and she takes him to a section, and I mean, there's just this huge stack of books that she pulls out and suggests for him to read. Then he
The
ends
the,
up
sec-
buying,
the section was about as big as what you would see for science fiction or fantasy, and I'm like, oh my god, this little bookstore has that much
yeah,
basically retail area devoted to doing this.
yeah. And, so he bought a few, and obviously he bought Robin DiAngelo's. That's her name, right? Robin DiAngelo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and then there's little, some of the because the movie is funny, and some of the fun stuff behind the movie is just these little vignettes of him like reading through her book and highlighting stuff. And the catchphrase you could say is you got to put the work in. You got to put the work in. And they never really explain what the work is. And it's not Matt not explaining it, it's the other people. They just say you have to put the work in. And it's like, well, what does that mean? So they show him in his full suit and stuff, actually riding an exercise bike and doing a rowing machine and stuff. Because he's trying to put the work in.
He goes and
So,
gets his
that,
DEI certification,
oh,
and
yeah.
that's
He,
what this is about. Once he gets his DEI certification, this is where the movie really kicks in, because then he goes out and he goes, okay, I can turn this into a job, a career. And he goes out and starts interviewing people. And this is where this movie is very effective, is when he talks to average regular people out there, about it. I think
Well, that was
uh,
the best part of the movie is he's talking to regular people. He goes to a bar. He goes and talks. One of the great best scenes I thought, he talks to a owner of a auto repair shop. The guy, opened it in 1971, an older black man. And this is how normal people think, is these when he's talking to these people. And, he goes to this bar. It's a biker bar. It's all white dudes. And he's talking to them about race and stuff. And everybody was like, I don't think about it. There's no why would you think about it? I have white
right.
friends, black friends, Spanish friends, whatever. We're just friends. We
we,
don't
we
think
all
about
we
it.
all bleed the same. We're people, and that's
Right.
what it is. It is just very, very interesting where he takes it.
Well,
Um,
it's become a business,
right.
and that's what you really get to with this movie is you see that these grifters have turned it into this shill of a business, and it really is disgusting that they're doing that, but it's
But
good
what
because he brings it to
he
light.
he shows you, because in order for him to meet with these people, you have to pay to have a sit down meeting,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Matt actually tallies up, and you'll see how much he pays to talk with
Each
different
one.
people, and you will recognize a lot of people, from the news and stuff. Like I said, I think not everything lands, not everything's totally hilarious,
No.
but it's done in a very good way. It is definitely a comedic mockumentary, um, and it works. The whole thing works. It is probably one of the better pieces that Daily Wire, has put out. So kudos to Matt Walsh for tackling this on head on, and I think you did really well with it. I would recommend, while it's in the theaters, go see it. Something like this is definitely, worth spending a little bit of money on. So you can already tell I'm going to give it a pretty decent rating.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's worth a watch too, especially if you can get a friend to go that is on, the opposite side of the aisle. I mean, look, this was made by Matt Walsh, a conservative. If you can get an independent leaning or a left leaning friend to go with open mind to it, I think that'd be pretty interesting to see. Anyhow, let's grade this puppy. Let's give it our CGC rating. Uh, who goes first? I don't remember.
It's your turn.
Ooh, it's my turn. Okay, 8.0. I'm done.
Oh,
I already said what I thought about it, so I
Yeah,
don't think I
me,
have to explain it anymore. So it's a 8.0. I gave you all
me
my
too.
thoughts.
Nope, me too.
Priceless
I
read.
did too, and I'm actually at an 8. I didn't think we were going to be that close. So yeah, an 8, and IMDb rating is a 7.7, so pretty close, and it tends to run lower. And when we had last heard, everybody was talking, nobody would review it. It had no reviews, well, 4, but not enough. But we now have a review. Rotten Tomatoes, the critics have given it an 80%. There is an
The
actual
critics?
rating. Yes, the critics are at an 80%. And I did hear on one of the shows that Christian Toto, we love that guy. He was one of the 4 original reviewers that were on there, and nobody else would review it. There are now 10 reviews, so it's at 80%. The
Well, I mean,
audience,
10 is better than nothing. So
yeah, the audience members, 98% with over 1,000 verified ratings. So solid. People really like this movie. For me, it wasn't a grand slam, but it was a good triple, maybe a solo home run.
there you go. You know what else is, Dennis? It's KOR-DRATH The Awakening by Dennis and myself. Dennis writes it. I draw it. We came up with KOR-DRATH and Adriana together. It takes place in the Shattered Reach, and KOR-DRATH and Adriana need to save their homeland from Vordoom the Undying, Necronite, and Lilneth. Check out the cast lineup. Guys, if you're a fan of Conan, Game of Thrones, Dungeons and Dragons, just high tea fantasy type adventure, you will like this book. We've got something for everyone. I tell you what, the link is in the description below. We would rather have you peruse this at your leisure to check out everything. So please go check it out. Back the campaign if you haven't already. It's a 64-page graphic novel we know you'll love, and it's because of your support that we can bring you this book. So thank you guys very much. We will be back next Wednesday at 3 p.m. And I think next week it's going to be Dennis and I rolling solo, just the two of us talking comics and stuff. Haven't done a show like that in a while. So there you go. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. And bye bye,
Good, well, you
everybody.
prosper.